everyone to another live session with Leverage TV. I'm Toshita Jolly, an overseas education expert here at Leverage EDU. I coach students to make it to the top 100 colleges around the world. Today's topic is how to write a winning SOP. This is the second episode. I will be beginning with number one, a recap of the previous episode. And then I'll be addressing following topics such as what is the difference between your SOP and your personal statement. I will be discussing do's and don'ts for the same. And I will be answering a lot of FAQ, the frequently asked questions in this particular session. But before we begin, let me give you an insight about what we do here. We are India's trusted university admission platform for studying abroad. If you are planning to study abroad and wish to start your international student journey, feel free to reach out to us. We here at Leverage help you reach your dream universities with a click. If you are confused about how to apply to a university abroad, where and when to apply, we can help you with that. Apart from that, we will guide you through your application process, help you construct great SOPs, prepare for your interviews, help you with scholarships, loans, accommodations, and a lot more. You can reach out to us on leverageedu.com and avail the benefits of your university admissions services. Okay, so I'm going to give you a recap of what we did the last time. The first question that we answered was, what is an SOP and what does it basically consist of? An SOP is a document that communicates your purpose, your motivation, and your intent to the university admission panel of your dream university. This document acts as a bridge between your past experiences and the future you want to build. Mostly, this particular document consists of a motivational story, education, projects, academic and professional both, your work experience, your expertise on the subject, and what do you want to do in your future with respect to the same. So the first thing that I'm going to talk to you about today is what is the difference between an SOP and a personal statement. An SOP is a long essay asked by universities abroad during application processes. An SOP is an essay that starts with the purpose of applying for a particular course in a particular university. This essay consists of a gist of who you are, what do you want to become, and how ready are you to pursue a certain course at an institution. The SOP mostly states the candidate's life, the motivation for the chosen career path, his or her goals. Therefore, a candidate should discuss the past incidents that have influenced their career paths in a specific domain wherever you aspire to grow and join as a particular course to the college. In certain cases, for an SOP, your word limit can be from 500 words, 650 words, 1,000 words, or they can give you something, let's say pointers such as, they will say that, all right, we need a one page SOP or 1.5 page SOP. It is extremely important for us to realize that, every university has a specific thing that they will ask. For example, they're very specific about the fonts, about spacing, about, whether it is supposed to be single spaced, double spaced, or, even the number, even the size of the font really matters. So these are certain things that you must check according to the university while you are making your statement of purpose. On the other hand, a personal statement is something that is also referred to as a personal history statement. So this is a statement in your application in which, for a particular college or university, which gives you a chance to articulate why would you want to study in a particular course or subject. So upon this, we will reflect upon our past in the sense that what have we done till date. All right, so this is also a document in which you can, talk about the passions. Why do you want to study the subject? What demonstrates your readiness towards this chosen field or applying to a particular program? After giving these details, if there's some space left, you can talk about your personal achievements, your qualities. So basically, this document is comparatively more informal and your SOP is more formal. So when you're planning to study abroad, there are certain questions in your mind that you might want to ask. This is a place where you can address those. All right. On the other hand, this has to be, let's say, a crisp one-page essay. Then again, your word limits are defined over the website. Please check your university websites. This is something that I would always advise you to do. A personal statement is more personal than an SOP. That's why it's called a personal statement. I mean, we could elaborate on our aspirations and motivations here. We can talk about, our cultural diversity. We can talk about things such as, let's say, where do we come from? What is our family background? For example, let's say you've scored a low GPA somewhere. How do you justify that? So this is one statement that you can use to justify that. Your SOP does not allow that. It's a very, very formal document. This is something that we really need to keep in mind. Now, other things that your SOP can address in most cases would be, you can explain your financial conditions. You can talk about your personal motivation. So here, all your personal stories that, this is that one person that inspired me. This is how I came to this thought process. What do I feel about this particular career field? And what have I done, in the past to show my inclination towards is something you can do that. You can do that here. So we can dive deeper into our personal side in this particular document. You can talk about, the challenges that you might have faced. There are students who've talked about, let's say, if they have, for example, a student is dyslexic. So they talk about their own personal challenges that they have taken. Sometimes, a student who's a little less capable in one field, maybe capable in another, is able to talk about the challenges that they've faced. For example, a student who cannot do maths but has worked really hard and can talk about those challenges in this particular essay. This essay allows you to be very different from all the other candidates. So this is one place where you can describe how different are you from other students. So your basic points of difference for an SOP and a statement of and a personal statement or a personal history statement is, number one, the content. So the content of an SOP talks about motivation, goals, professional experiences, extracurriculars, then your future goals, long-term goals, short-term goals, all of that. Now, when you move to your personal statement, again, personal motivation, inspiration, goals, achievements, background, challenges, all of this can be addressed. This is a SOP is a very formal document, and a personal statement can be a little informal. The length of both the documents differ. In most cases, your SOP is around 2 pages and your personal statement in most of the cases is around 1 page. So this is something that we need to keep in mind while writing an SOP and a personal statement. However, there are different statements also. For example, you have a motivation letter or a cover letter that might go to a university. Again, please check the university websites specifically or speak to your counselors in detail while doing this. They'll give you a detail about everything, the spacing, the margins, the font size, the font to be used. So universities can be very specific. You must understand, if you're not following those rules, the university will not even go ahead and read. When they feel that you are someone who cannot even follow simple instructions given over their website, they feel that you are someone who's not worth, they'll not give you a lot of importance. So in order to, let's say, have an edge over other students, you write your SOPs and your statement of your personal statements differently and follow all the rules and specifications that you've specified to the T over the website. Now, how is your SOP different from other university essays? Now, your SOP is a document that is talking about literally everything: your background, your introduction to the field, your career goals, why this particular university, why this particular course, and probably eventually a conclusion to that. That is your SOP. Now, university-specific essays or university-specific questions that you tend to answer will ask about different things. For example, a university-specific essay might ask you about, various incidents that you've had, or how have you been a great leader, or give me an example of your leadership skills. These are a few of the questions that really, really make it very different from the SOP. So here the university targets its specific information that they want to pull out of you. So university essays become very, very specific to the question that they've been asking. University essays and SOPs both at times are submitted, but in certain cases or in certain courses, only university essay goes. So you must again adhere to the word limit, the specifications, and how do you answer. Make sure that your SOP document or your university essays do not use third person at all. Your SOP has to be in a reverse chronological order, and that is something I will always, always stress upon. So the other topic after your university essays and your SOP is do's and don'ts of an SOP. So I suggest you write these pointers down because these would be great. These would give you a lot of help. So, okay. So even though SOP is a very formal document, it is very important to use formal language. A formal document does not mean that, it's just formal to, talk about, but the language also has to be according to that. You do not talk about your finances or your financial situations or financial aid in your SOP at all. That is something that we refrain from. Another thing that is very, very important is you do not mention your stay back plans at all in an SOP. You never talk about staying in a foreign country for very, very long. This is something that we avoid. Uh, Another thing that we must keep in mind is to not use complicated or confusing language. We can keep it in plain and simple English. And that is something that is really, really advisable. If you use, let's say, big words that you don't know how to imply, please refrain from doing that. Your language, let's say, an SOP, writing an SOP is not a task that you'll finish up in 1 day or 2 days. People take six months to write their SOPs and come to an ideal SOP that they would want to submit. So please take your time while writing your SOPs. Do not finish it up in a week. Do not finish it up in a day. It's not just those 500, 650, 1000 words that you need to fill up on a paper. This is a very deciding and a very important document that we must focus on. In a lot of cases, SOP has been the very reason that the student has gotten an admit, especially in countries like US, where they realize that the kind of person you are on the basis of your SOP. It allows them to understand you better when they can read through what you've written. So keeping an SOP completely uncomplicated, free from all confusing language and complicated words will always work in your favor. Another thing is we use a reverse chronological order in order to write our SOPs. So while we write our SOPs, you start from your present. What are you doing currently? And then you backtrack. So what we mean by backtracking is you're going to, let's say, talk about currently I'm working at so-and-so organization. And then you will move back to, let's say, before this, I had completed this degree, I had completed this course, or I have probably worked as an intern here or there, or I have been a person who's received a scholarship in college. So all these things go in a reverse chronological manner. You backtrack from one point, which is your current present point, and then take it backwards. Your SOP has to be really forward looking. So I would really request someone who's writing an SOP currently to make sure that it's very forward looking. You're able to talk about your future goals, talk about in depth about your short term, mid-term and long-term goals after you have completed this course. We must understand that SOP is a very idealistic document. So please don't think twice before being idealistic. And in my opinion, please never be modest. I mean, modesty is something that I do not recommend, because a university should know in detail what all have you done so that they can encourage your profile further. From one point to another, I mean, you have to make sure that your SOP stands out, and you as a candidate really, really stand out through your words. So make sure that you talk about things that make you a different person. Talk about things such as how do you resonate with the idea of the university, the kind of people, let's say the alumni. If a couple of people from the alumni are your role models, do not think twice before discussing that as a topic. You can always talk about, let's say, your future goals. You can resonate from the idea of the university, let's say, using their motto, right? So a university might have their motto, something that is related to change, or something that is related to, how knowledge is power. Every university has a motto. Figure that out, use that motto, and talk about how does that resonate with your own personality. You can always use, let's say, the professors who are currently working with that university. You can always talk about them. You can always address things that, for example, a particular professor, right? He's done his research in a particular field and you're interested in that field. So you can always talk about why this university interests me is because this professor is working here. His work has been in this particular direction, and this is the direction I would want to go through. So you can talk about how that person will act as a mentor and guide you further. That is a great way to approach the particular section, talking about why do you want to join a specific university, specific course, and will help you get the necessary push to take your SOP forward. One more thing that we must keep in mind is to be crisp. At any point of time, we have to be to the point and concise. Do not write long stories. If the university is asking you for a 1500-word essay, do not make it more than 1500 words. It has to be 1500. Stick to the word limit. That is the best advice I can give you. Never, never, never cross that word limit. It is extremely important. A university takes about 12 minutes to review your entire application. And in that, if you are not writing something that is crisp, precise, and to the point, the university will keep it aside. Imagine a person who is reading so many documents in one day. And if you're not able to hold their attention, why will they read it through and through? So make sure that it is different. Make sure your points are well aligned, your SOP is well structured. Another advice for that would be to write down all your pointers in advance. And once you have written all your pointers in one space, you can take it forward, you can number them, structure it better, and then give it a clean, a very clean outlook. One more point that we must keep in mind is never to write your SOP in third person. Please refrain from writing your SOPs, university essays, personal statements in third person. You are yet to prove yourself as a student. You do not write your SOPs in the third person. You write it in the first person, always. Now, coming down to a few FAQs that I would want to discuss with everyone is, okay, so there's certain, the first FAQ that I've been asked most often is, should I mention my stay back plans in an SOP? As I've mentioned before, you never talk about your staying back plans in an SOP. Never means never. So do not mention that. The next question of the most frequently asked questions is, should I mention about the university I'm applying to in my SOP? Well, your SOP is going to a specific university, so it is extremely important that you do mention that. And once that is done, you can always take that forward, and that would be of great help. Do not think twice before. I mean, it is absolutely essential that you mention the university and all the key pointers. Please research before submitting this document, because you have to have a lot of research regarding the university specifically. So go to the university website, look through YouTube videos, look at comparative videos all over YouTube. The internet is filled with such information. All right. So the next question that I have is, what should I mention? Okay. What should be the starting point of my SOP? Well, the starting point of your SOP in most cases should be an introduction about your academic field of interest. So when your academic field of interest is, maybe, let's say, you want to go in for an MBA. So you talk about how did you arrive at that, particular point. So you talk about starting about how do I say, let's say, for an MBA, I will start with whatever I have done. How am I introduced to this field? What does this field, offer differently from other courses? And what will you acquire from this is something that you will mention in your introduction. The another question that I'm more often, really asked is, should I mention what all I have written in my CV, in my SOP? Well, when your CV is right there in front of you, there is a lot that you can mention. So your CV is only offering pointers. It is not in depth. It is not giving an idea of exactly what happened there and then, right? There is no way that, your CV is able to talk about the stories or your experiences. So you can always, talk about instances here, and your CV has most of the material. So let's not repeat all of that. Another question that is very, very common is, what should be the content? Should the content of my LOR and SOP be the same? Well, if the content of your SOP and your LOR is the same, that is not a problem, because your LOR is written from the point of view and is actually written by your recommenders, and your SOP is talking about yourself through your own words. So basically, it's like it's validating. If they are similar, they are validating each other. Another question that we must keep in mind is, should I talk about everything I have done in my school and college in my SOP? Well, not everything. You can pick and choose the most highlighted points and mention in your SOP, because again, there is a word limit which we need to adhere to. I agree that the work experience background paragraph is something that is going to take the most amount of space on your SOP, but you cannot mention everything. In 500, 650, 1000 words, how many things can you actually mention, right? What is the importance of an SOP in my application process is the most common question I've ever come across. Well, as I've mentioned before, SOP happens to be a document which has the power to, make it or break it. So this is one document that you really, really need to consider. That's why I say, take your time in writing your SOP. Take a month, take 2 months, take 6 months, but write, rewrite, edit, re-edit, and come up with a finished product. The other question that is often asked by my undergraduate students or even my masters is, how different is an SOP that is made for an undergraduate profile different from that of a PG? When you're going in for a postgraduate education, what happens is that your PG has as a standard SOP procedure. When you're going in for an undergraduate course, there are different kinds of CVs that different kinds of SOPs that are asked about. So in most UG cases, especially someone applying to US is going to ask for a Common App essay. Now we are going to take another session on the Common App essay very, very soon. Please wait for the updates for that. So basically your Common App essays are different and your SOP is different. Hence they're not the same and we cannot use the same information for UG and PG. How do we, now another question is, how do we write a different SOP for different geographical locations? Now, again, you must understand that a country like US is more holistic in nature. Hence, they would welcome all kinds of information that you have to talk about in your SOP. Whereas other locations such as Canada and UK often have SOPs that are very specific to what have you done in the past. So you don't have a lot of scope or a lot of room to express yourself as much. So they have standard procedures, US not so much. What do I write in an SOP while applying to a German university is a question that is not frequently asked, but is nevertheless asked. So what we tend to do is while we're writing a German application, we do not submit an SOP, we submit a letter of motivation instead. There are different documents, and to write a letter of motivation is very different from writing your SOP. All right, so someone's asking me a question about how many paragraphs or words should my SOP have. Well, in most cases, the paragraphs and words on your SOP are mentioned on the university website. So your SOP can be 500 words, 650 words, 1000 words, 1500, or just mentioned as, one page SOP or 2-page SOP over your websites. Again, please keep in mind, I am reiterating this, please keep this in mind that you really have to adhere to the word limit. You really have to look at things such as, the font size, the font that they're asking for, the spacing, the margins, all of that is extremely important. Another question that I have here is, should everything in my SOP be factually correct? Well, it absolutely has to be factually correct. Every time you are submitting your SOP, you cannot mention lies. A university has a ways of figuring it out. You have your CV and all these things that, will validate this particular document. Another question that I'm being asked here is, am I supposed to be modest while writing my SOP? Well, as I've mentioned before, your SOP is not a document in which you have to be modest. My advice is flaunt. Whatever you have done, flaunt. Do not exaggerate, but talk about it in detail, talk about it. Whatever your achievements are, please do mention that. Kashmira Patel here is asking me, is there any book for SOP writing? Well, there are no specific books for SOP writing per se, but I would suggest that you can always get in touch with us. We can help you write your SOPs here. You can always YouTube different ways of writing an SOP. You can brainstorm with us. We have an entire team that will help you on that. We have a team that will give you more suggestions on how to improve it. We have an editorial team that will help us construct beautifully written words and communicate whatever we have to the university in the most prudent way. All right, guys, I think it's time for me to go now. So just in case you have any more questions, we are willing to answer those. You can always reach out to our website, our social media handles. My team will be more than happy connecting you with me. And I think we have another session tomorrow, 6 p.m. And I'm hoping to see you all there. Thank you so much.